I got this knife for about 20 bucks off Amazon, and there's a lot of knife here for 20 bucks. It has a 3 3/4 inch blade, and the handle is especially quite generous. This should work for folks with fairly large hands. The handles are tall, Zytel scales here. They're also kind of heavy. They're not too thick, yeah, but kind of heavy with how much steel is used in there for the liners, because the liners take up that full height here, and all, you know, steel hardware and such as expected. So it feels like you've got something substantial in your hand. The feel, as far as the ergonomics though, leaves me a little bit troubled. It works in some ways, like right here, like this. I can get a nice firm grip on it. Very firm, and it feels very confident. However, other grips that I might want to go for give me trouble trying to get it indexed well. I think right there is pretty good, but what if I wanted to angle it just a little bit more out this way, more in line with the thumb, not quite so much. So this is definitely a knife that I would say you should get in your hands. If you're considering buying it, find a place that has a demo model that you can actually check out, you know, or just a place that'll let you actually put your hands on a knife before making a purchase, because it's going to be very subjective. Large handles can be good, but this has some very specific features with the knurling on the lock here, which actually sticks out, how deep this indentation is for your index finger, and this flat shape is fairly flat, kind of rectangular really, through here. It's very difficult to describe in words or to show on video. I believe you have to get it in your hand to fully understand. Now the shape of this blade I think is great. I love how aggressively angled down the spine is, and the swedge is very, very generous here, giving you a very fine point, and this is going to definitely be a good stabber. And it has a very generous belly as well, and there was very little recurve down towards, just a tiny bit down towards the choil, like the last 3/8 of an inch or so has just a little bit of recurve in there. I did reprofile the whole blade. The material is 8CR14 MOV, so you know, a decent metal, especially for 20 bucks, and to get this much of it. It is very easy to sharpen, it's easy to reprofile, and takes a good edge. However, after sitting for a little while, it did relax. But what happened, it wasn't just a typical like a low-end 440, or poorly hardened low-end 440 relaxing, where just the whole thing goes dull. What happened was I had a very good edge on this, and it just created a burr. It just curled over. Not always in the same direction. So just a tiny bit of touch-up work will get this back to a good point of sharpness. You know, it's not the toughest material. Yeah, for 20 bucks, just expect to have to do a little bit of touch-up work on it. I think that the blade here is good. It has the typical lock that they have on the back of these, which is great for safety. I have a lot of confidence in that. The clip is generous and should work pretty well. It's wide enough. It shouldn't get caught too easily. They don't have the ability to reverse the clip on this one, unfortunately. There's obviously no spring load mechanism in this, but there's enough weight to the blade, and the pivot is smooth enough. It actually does, it does kind of lock into place. It pulls in just a little bit, but it's smooth, and there's not too much resistance to coming out. So this is definitely a flick deploy weapon or a tool. It doesn't come out too easily, but when I want it to, it does. Very easy to get that locked, so that's good. So yeah, a lot of things to like about this, especially for 20 bucks. Comes in different colors and finishes that are available. But definitely, if you're interested in getting one of these, I strongly recommend that you get one in your hands physically first before ordering it, unless you just have the money to kill and you're really interested in it. But you know, if you want to make an investment into something that you're going to want to keep and actually use for a while, try out this handle, because I personally would not get this again. It just doesn't give me enough confidence and enough different positions, from enough different angles. If I needed to deploy this and use it immediately, I would not feel comfortable with it. I would not feel safe. I wouldn't feel like it would be indexed well enough for me to know where it's going to go and where the strength of my hold is. That's strictly personal though, and that will definitely vary from person to person.